What's up, everybody? Y'all already know who this is. Back with another video, Todd and Tasha. We are here doing it again with a news story that could possibly have a big impact on the lives of families, especially the lives of people who are in the workforce, who's been in the workforce for a long time. Welcome to the podcast with Todd and Tasha right here in Los Angeles. We're not very happy with the weather that's been happening here in LA because it's been raining, and then we have one 76-degree weather day, then it goes back to raining again. Mm-hmm. I don't know what's happening in this great golden state at all, but we have a lot of things going on. We want to talk to you about this bill that's being reintroduced as we speak. A California congressman wants to make a 32-hour work week a U.S. law. We have a Democrat representative. He's California's 39th congressional district, which includes Riverside County. He reintroduced the 32-hour Workweek Act. Again, he reintroduced the 32-hour Workweek Act. So this bill would reduce the standard 40-hour work week to 32 hours by amending the Fair Labor Standards Act. So we're going to talk about this. Now, this bill would also mandate overtime pay. This will mandate overtime pay for any work done after 32 hours and applies to non-exempt employees who typically work hourly jobs in various sectors, including transportation, wholesale, and retail. We're going to talk about basically the pros and cons. Will this bill actually even get passed? Mm-hmm. This is, in my opinion, a real good thing. I believe in Tasha's opinion, it's a great thing as well, too. Mm-hmm. Because, let me adjust my microphone, because I feel like that it's not picking me up like it should. So let me lower it down a little bit, get it closer to my big mouth here. All right, there we go. Make minor adjustments. But anyway, so let's talk about this. Now, you have so many people, again, for so many years, they've been working their butts off. Now, let's think about this, guys. For so long, you've been working 5 days a week. And then, of course, a lot of times you have to put in overtime. So generally the standard work week is Monday through Friday. And then you have Saturday and Sunday off. Friday rolls around, you're excited. Oh man, Friday is payday. A lot of times Friday is payday for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. You're excited, oh, Friday is payday, today's payday. I'm off the weekend, I got 2 days off. Oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna have a blast. And just like, you blink your eye and next thing you know, oh, I gotta go to work Monday morning. Oh man. Oh, I gotta go to work Monday morning. I don't feel like going and dealing with this mess that I've been dealing with.
And really, sadly, there are a lot of documented cases to where people actually had heart attacks and other ailments literally on Sunday because they were thinking about the fact that they had to go to work on Monday. That's how much they hated their job. But let's see if I think this is a good idea. The 32-hour work week, I think, is a great idea because less hours, like you're away from your family. Like, you know what I'm saying? You have like Todd said, 5 days a week. Most people, 5 days a week, you're away from your family. You only have 7 days in a week. So more than 50% of the time, you're working at an hourly job. You're at work. And then you got to squeeze in time with the rest of your family and friends after work hours. And then it's like the weekend goes by in a blink of an eye. And next thing you know, you're right back there. Just, for some people, slaving once again. Now, I know some people really, really love their jobs. And I've worked workplaces where, yeah, I enjoyed it or whatever the case. But still, at the same time, what about your family?
I mean, is it really worth
it? Because
right.
I got burnt out, even though I liked the job or whatever. I burnt myself out. I totally remember doing that, and it was not a good feeling. Your family, they're affected as well. And it's just, I feel it's really way past time for this to take place because, again, you can get as much done in those 4 days. If you think about it, when
Right.
you're going on vacation, you squeeze all of that work in, make sure you get all your, loose ends tied up before vacation.
Yep.
You can do the same thing, like, oh, okay, 4 days, boom, 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 hurry up and get that done.
Yep.
I think it's going to increase productivity.
Yeah. Because I just think that, so if you go down to 4 days, I mean, basically, like what Latasha was already saying, it's going to help out a lot. And really, it's going to help out mentally.
Right.
Because, again, you're mentally drained.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even honestly, let's be real, guys. Even one day can be mentally draining. I mean, you can go on to work, you have your game face on, you ready to get the job done, but you have those coworkers, or all it takes is just one coworker that can just destroy your whole day, can change your whole attitude. You ever notice that? It's always that one person just giving you problems, giving you that eye that look like, just that vibe like, oh, and then you're thinking like, oh, is this person supposed to be off today?
Right.
When are they gonna be? I hope they get fired. Let's be honest. Come on now. Am I the only one that felt like that before? Like you just think like, oh, I just wish she get fired. I wish she get fired. Goodness gracious. Somebody needs to write him up, write her up.
God.
So it can be very, very stressful. So then you go down to 4 days again. It's probably going to be a little bit better. You have a few extra days off, opposed to the and you kind of like, it's almost like Sunday is a day and a half because you wake up and you're happy, okay, I'm off another day, but then halfway through the day you're like, oh, I got to go to work on Monday. And a lot of people really can't even enjoy the full Sunday being off because they're so busy, dwelling on, I got to go into that blank hole Monday morning, and it's just so that's how that goes.
Right.
And then of course your families, you have children or your loved one, wife, husband, they'll be happy to have you around for extra day. Well, there may be some of you guys who they're like, oh, please keep this work week at 5. Matter of fact, make it a 6-day work week because my husband, my wife is something else, just way too much. But anyway, so that's a whole nother deal right there. Now, this is the con of it. So let's kind of talk about this a little bit. So with going down to like 32 hours a work week, so basically the SHRM believes in a workplace flexibility that works for both employees and employers. So we suppose this legislation we oppose this legislation because of its one-size-fit approach, which requires large organizations to pay overtime for any work in excess of 32 hours without reducing an employee's regular pay rate. So they're saying that this can create like a lot of issues, money issues, paying basically more people more money for working less. Because corporations, companies, they have like a budget. So obviously they budget you into the factor in terms of all the expenses that they have. So you're obviously a huge budget because without you, for the most part, they cannot run their company. They can't run their business because obviously it takes humans to run their ship. So they had to factor all that stuff in. So basically, to make a long story short, they don't want to come out there, more money. They don't want to have to pay more money because, again, that's going to be more overtime. So what if you want to work a couple of extra days? So you work 4 days, you work Monday through Thursday. You're like, oh, I want to work overtime. I want to come in and work Friday overtime and then want to work another day, Saturday. That's going to really cost them a lot of money. So obviously businesses, corporations, they're not buying this. To them, it's just not going to fly. So, Tasha, I don't know. Do you think this is going to pass both the House and Senate?
It's going to be a ton of pushback because, again, companies like Tava just mentioned, there's going to be a ton of pushback. I honestly, to be honest, I don't see this passing because of that, let's be real. When you even introduce a bill, it's always backed by special interest groups. I don't remember the name of it at the moment, but because of that, what does that mean? There's always money. There's always payoff. There's already, there's always, here's oil your, squeaky door over here if you do this over here or whatever. So honestly, I just really believe that this is, it's put out there, but the likelihood of it getting passed, I really think that it's going to be not so good. Unless, we'll say someone of the higher up in government, use your imagination, really starts talking about it and pushing for it or whatever, maybe like a president or something like that, we'll say. And, kind of, puts more eyes on it, and then it's like, oh, okay, we're forced to pass it. And I think too, last thing, companies, okay, you need to look at it as well, productivity wise, like the part of the bill's issue. What they're saying is the 40-hour work week has not changed since the 1940s. Okay, that's when people were.
This is 2023.
This is 2023. Okay, there's so many technological improvements that have taken place that, of course, productivity issues are really sometimes null compared to back then. Why aren't we working less hours?
Exactly.
You can get more done in less time now than ever before. Come on, before you used to have to wait for letters to come in the mail. Now you just, boom, in a second, send messages. So I really think there is some meat to this, but we'll see.
But so let's talk about this, because there's really a huge part of this, probably a huge reason why they are considering or trying to reintroduce this bill. Because now we were just talking about the stress factor. Again, we already talked about the stress factor. A lot of people are physically and mentally stressed over working the job. And it's now, first, in my opinion, I don't necessarily think I think it's half and half. I think half of it, of course, is working 5 days a week. The other half, like I was just saying before, you can work one day and you're stressed a couple of days because it's the nature of the job. You have people and things like that. And I even noticed one young lady, she's an architect, and she was stressed every day, all the time by a certain group of people that was, working the job, but stressing her out. And this is a high-paying job, but which is always stressed out, just stressing, going to work, sweating and carrying on. But so the other factor is that because of stress, a lot of times because people are stressed out, they do things that could harm others, like mass shootings and things like that. It happens all the time. People get fed up with other coworkers. And I'm not saying it's an excuse. There's no excuse to take, someone's life because you're stressed or overworked at the job. But there's another. So make a long story short, they feel that this could, by going to a 32-hour work week, this could actually reduce the amount of stress on an individual who is working a 9-to-5 gig.
And that's a good point, because really what they should take into consideration and bring up too when they're lobbying for this bill is mental health factor. And again, let's talk about, could be of some way, shape, or form reduction in health care costs, because sometimes employers have to pay for their employees to go to see therapists and stuff.
Right.
So really, these types of things should be brought up. I'm sure that they will be when they're lobbying for this bill.
Yes, exactly. And also, studies have found that people have actually had nervous breakdowns, heart attacks, things like that, just all sorts of health issues. That's another problem, that there's a lot of health issues related to even if you're not working, other type of whatever else you could be doing, you can be stressing out over a family situation, personal situation, and that can do harm. That can cause, heart attacks and other type health issues. So, but again, by them reintroducing this bill, that they hope that it will get passed and it will address such things as workplace stress and health-related stress, work place, health-related stress, things like
And
that.
productivity, right?
Exactly.
Yep.
So we don't know what's going to come up. I mean, there's always bills being reintroduced or introduced into the platform there, and a lot of times nothing ever gets done.
Mm-hmm.
It just sits there. I mean, we could name a whole lot of things, but not going to go into that either.
Now, again, it's just going to take some, creative lobbying, making some really strong points, and for the really, it's going to take a really big push and rally behind it for this to pass, I think, because like Todd said, okay, the bill can be introduced a number of times, but let's see what's going to really happen.
Exactly. Well, so I believe that is it for this video. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. And into the next video, we're out of here.
Peace.